Are getting your 12-month pins? Richard, why don't you read what it says there?
Okay, it says, our mission statement. We love our moms, but we are not our moms.
Let's all say that together.
We love our moms, but we are not our moms.
Progress reports. Who'd like to share? Sure.
Hi everyone, I'm Rachel.
Hi Rachel.
I am very excited to share that I have not posted a picture of my food on Instagram in over 3 weeks.
Oh, nice.
I am now limiting myself to only 4 coupons per shopping trip.
Oh, and I've stopped referring to every cashier as honey or sweetie. Let me tell you, that is a struggle.
Yeah, I started buying my own napkins instead of taking them from restaurants.
Oh, Shannon's gonna be late. And she sent me a text with 16 different emojis.
16? Okay, well, we'll discuss that later. Anyone else? Okay, well, what things are still giving you difficulty?
Whenever I'm in a vehicle and the driver pushes the brakes, I always grab the dashboard like we're gonna die or something.
I stay up at night worrying about whether my friends are taking all their vitamins.
I daydream about having just 5 minutes to myself.
Don't you live alone?
Yeah, it's weird, right?
Sometimes I still ask my friends if they have to go potty. They're all adults.
I put up shelves just so I can put little knickknacks on them.
Hi, sorry I had to drop my sister off at dance, and then I had to bring the dog to the groomer, which is right before my voice lesson, and then I had a meeting.
Okay, I'm gonna stop you right there. Who can tell me, what was Shannon's mistake?
Overbooking.
She overbooked.
Too many activities.
Right.
So even though you're still working through some of these things, it just shows that your mom is part of who you are. And that includes all of their love, their devotion, the heart of God that now lives in you.
And remember, you can still be hip and cool. I even started playing that video game, Fork Knife.
Fork knife? I think you mean...
Is that some kind of culinary game?
Oh, the one where you crush all the candy.
Is that one you
How does this always happen? Carol, just a reminder, there's no dancing during group time.
But why?
Because I said so, that's why.
You may have met a few people who like doing this sort of thing. They're a nuisance, I agree, but pretty harmless. You have certainly thousands like this. They're not a nuisance. They're a real danger. Hi, stop it, you. Stop it. Stop it. Come here. What do you think you're up to? You've probably infected thousands of people already. What do you think this is for? Yes, that's all right, but here's another way of using your handkerchief. Now sneeze. Come on. All right, never mind. Close your eyes. Now, handkerchief. Sneeze. Sneeze, handkerchief. Got it? Fine. Understand? Handkerchief, sneeze. See what I mean? That's the idea. Fine. Now you can carry on.
All of us will reach a crossroads in life, a decision that has to be made. Some can be small and insignificant. Others seem like they could shape the course of our entire lives. How can we know the will of God? How can we correctly choose the path He has set out for us? And what if we make the wrong decision? We spend sleepless nights and days filled with anxiety when we place these burdens upon ourselves. Often we become isolated, feeling completely alone in finding the right answer. Sometimes we're tempted to rush into a decision. Other times, we'd rather delay indefinitely. But for those who call him Father, for those who believe in the power of his name, he provides everything we need to follow his will. He gives us his word as a compass and inspiration. Those who live according to Scripture will always follow in his footsteps. He blesses us with wise counsel through his church and the leaders he has set in place. He hears our every prayer, granting peace and wisdom to those who ask. His very Spirit dwells in us, a still small voice that guides from within our hearts. And in his perfect timing, he will open doors. He will clear the way forward. And no matter the path you choose, you are never alone. He will walk beside you and enfold you with his love, from now until the end of eternity. So trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make your paths straight.
there's a way. See the light ahead, right ahead. There's a moonlit night ahead. Everyone, come on, have fun. All's well. Why do they make me sing that song? The poet who wrote it was certainly wrong. It's bright ahead, go right ahead. I'd rather go home and go right to bed. My feet are wet, my bunions ache, and yet I've got to keep wide awake all night. I wake folks up to tell them things are all right and all's well. What's a rainy day? Never mind that cloud. Behind that cloud you'll find a golden ray. All's well. Laugh your fears away. See the light ahead, right ahead. There's a moonlit night ahead. Everyone, come on, have fun. Oh! Well, what's a rainy day?
Has visitors.
You know they're signing a wedding contract?
There's a giant on the beach. There's a giant out there.
Your Majesty?
Thank you, Your Majesty. Marriage contract. King Little of Lilliput on this 5th day of November can hand of his daughter, Princess Glory, to Prince David, son of Bombo, King of Blefuscu. Right in order, right. King Bombo. We did it.
Yes, we certainly did, didn't we?
Just a couple of old dad cupids, I think.
Your Majesty, the wedding things are here.
There's a giant on the beach. There's a giant.
Exquisite taste. Exquisite.
Roses, freesies, rhododendrons, ranunculus, snapdragons und daisies. Pretty posies, aren't they?
Beautiful blooms. Beautiful. Oh! May I?
Oh, please do.
Magnificent! Oh, a masterpiece. Vanilla. Wow!
My only little daughter. I dread losing her.
Oh, buck up there, old boy. You're not losing a daughter. You're gaining a son. My son, David. Lovely melody.
Yes, we like it. That is Faithful, the song of Lilliput. It will be played at the wedding tomorrow.
Of course, of course. Oh, what's that? Faithful? Oh, no, no. Forever, the song of Blefuscu must be played at the wedding.
But, Bombo, Faithful is always played at our weddings. It's tradition, sir. And it's very pretty.
Yes, yes, I know. Pleasant little ditty, but hardly appropriate for this great occasion. But forever, there's a song for you. Ha-ha!
Faithful will be played.
Ah, twaddle. Absolute twaddle. It must be forever.
Faithful.
Forever.
Faithful.
Forever. It will be forever, or there will be no wedding.
No wedding, but the cake and the pretty flowers and... Oh, Bombo, you love Faithful.
Oh, shut up! I'll kick you! Why this is outrageous! It's war!
Oh, it's me. Oh, it's me.
I found the mountain, Your Majesty. I found it. It was a man mountain.
War is nice.
It was fist big. No, it was fist big.
People are hurt in wars.
He's as big as... Wait, Your Majesty.
Bombo can't frighten me. No, sir. Speak up. Don't stand there like a nincompoop.
I'm trying to tell you that there's a giant.
When I get my dandruff up, look out. But Glory, poor little Glory.
Don't look now, gentlemen, but it's war. War?
Smiling through, my sweet, I'll have just you here in my heart, and I'll trust you, though we're apart, so
War. Rolls off my back like a duck.
But I'm trying to tell you. I'm telling you, there's a...
What's on your mind?
I said...
Speak up, man.
There's a giant on the beach. There's a giant on the beach.
For heaven's sake, Gabby, button your mouth. Can't you see I have a war on my hands? Be off with you. Shoo, 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 shoo.
A war? Do you suppose he could be a spy?
Or he bothered me with passion. Who's a spy? Who's a spy?
The giant on the beach!
Giant? Why don't you tell me these things? Do something. Don't stand there. Go, stick the dogs on. Fetch him to me at once.
Giant on the beach! Giant! Another beach! A giant? A giant on the beach! Giant on the beach! I said there's a giant on the beach!
Bring cables and tools, bring horses and mules, bring snippers and clippers, ladders and spools, bring derricks, a rig, bring pulleys, a jig, bring whatchamacallit, little and big, a thingamathud, a thingamajig, and all kinds of things and stuff like that there. Follow me! Quiet. We're almost there. Where is it? I don't know. But it was right here. Here.
Oh, yeah? Well, where is it now?
Well, I can't understand it. It was right here. Honest.
Giant. Dragging us out in the dead of the night. Yeah, chasing wild geese.
Gabby must have been seeing things. Maybe it just got up and flew away.
Yeah, and breathing fire.
Look out, Gabby! Your giant's gonna bite you! Hey, fellas, maybe it was me, Thor. Look, I'm a giant. I'm a giant. Listen. Told you that there was a giant on the beach, and well, there he is.
He said that's the giant on the beach!
There isn't a moment to waste. Every last man must do all that he can. Work with the greatest of haste. So bind up its hands, its arms, its chest, its neck, its feet. And I'll do the rest. Let's go! Quiet, quiet, quiet.
Hey?
Hit the wheels, come on, roll them into place. Bring paint to hold them. Bring jacks, tackles, grease, and axles, all kinds of things and stuff like that there. Come on now, let's go. Heave-ho! Up, up, men, up, up.
Back up, Billy. Come on, Eddie. Steady there, Bessie. Back up, Eddie.
Ready, Dandy Roll? Let's go!
Giddy up, Susie. Giddy up. Whoa.
Lower away, then. Careful. Careful.
All set below.
Okay, let's go.
Giddy up. Tally ho. Giddy up. Giddy up. Come on, right there.
it's always played at our weddings. Faithful. Faithful.
Your Majesty. I've got the giant.
The giant? Oh, yes, the giant. Well, bring him in.
Okay. Your Majesty, I don't think he'd fit in here.
Oh, you don't, huh? So it's not good enough for him, Well, where is he?
Out there, Your Majesty.
Now then. Not good enough for him. Well, where is he?
From here on.
Call out the guards, the army, the navy, women and children first. I'll see you later.
Search him, then. He may be armed. I don't like it. Help! Your Majesty! Let me in! Your Majesty! Let me in! 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 No, I don't like it! Let it go! Help! Help! Let me go! I don't want to die! Help!
Well, what have we got here?
Help! Don't eat me! Don't eat me! Help! I won't taste good! I'll give you indigestion!
A man. A tiny man.
You can't do this to me! I got a wife and kids! Millions of kids!
Hold on there, mate. Nobody's going to hurt you.
Help! Put me down! Help! Help!
Drop that! Drop that!
Well, another one. Who are you?
Who, me? What? I'm king around here. Guards! Guards! To the turret! Archers! Surround the guys!
child.
You'll pay for this. Ready?
Aim, fire!
Aim!
Fire!
How do you like that? Want some more? All right, let it go!
It's Bob! Oh! Close the gates! Man the battlements! Defend the city! We're attacked! We're attacked!
Stop, you swine! Get back to your post! Get back there and fight! We of Breakfast Crew are not afraid of anything.
Well, there's everyone gone. This is no way to treat a harmless visitor.
Look, Gabby, we've won! Gabby? See, Gabby, they've gone. Yes, sir, we're scared still.
Hello there. Come now, don't let my size frighten you. You, Your Majesty, surely you're not afraid of me. Well, good. Then let me present myself. My name is Gulliver, Your Majesty. Lemuel Gulliver, a shipwrecked sailor. At your service.
Well, welcome to Lilliput, Mr. Gulliver. Mr. Gulliver, can you fight?
Well, Your Majesty, I can lick anybody my size.
Ah, splendid, splendid. I don't think Bombo will give us any further trouble while you're around here. No, sir. He's on our side, Gabby. He's on our side. There's nothing to fear. The Mad Mountain's on our side. It's a happy day, toodaloo-lay, for you and me, for us and we, for us ever. It's a happy day, toodaloo-lay, the sunshine bright and the world's all right. It's a happy day. Orange and sunny.
Come on, where are those buttons?
Happy day. You can't go wrong if you sing that song. It's a happy day.
Hey, look out! Grab it! Hold on! Nab it!
You understand that not until that giant is removed can our forces taste the sweet fruits of victory. Now then, it is up to you to carry this message to my spies in Lilliput. Lior, and may luck be with you. Get going!
Your Majesty, I'm sorry the little princess isn't with us.
Yes, too bad. Too much excitement for one day. in the moonlight.
That's how I feel when I'm with you. There are night owls in the daylight.
Silly idea, night owls in the daylight.
My heart is saying,
Who is the one for us? You! It's what you've done for us.
there are night owls
Ahoy, mate! Ahoy! Ahoy, mate! Ahoy, ahoy! I see that you're a sailor boy. I owned a boat, a beauty too. 50 times as big as as big as your shoe.
My.
I lost her though in a furious gale, but I came home on the back of a whale.
But tell me how you caught the whale.
Simply grabbed a hold of his tail.
My.
I climbed a mountain peak so high, I bumped my head against the sky. And there I was. Where was I?
On the island of Alibi.
I.
My.
I. But now my life is very dull. They ought to make me an admiral. Now that's the job that I'd enjoy. I must be going. Ahoy, ahoy.
My.
You put that ball in there, and then it goes down and around. Pull that thing.
And it comes out here.
Giant! Wow! The light! Douse the light! He's gone.
Hello? Anybody in there?
Nobody here but just us. Chickens!
My.
Forever? That's the song of Flipperskew. Hi, guard! A spy! A spy! Guard! A spy! A spy! Guard! too. That makes it worse. Carry on the search, men. Mind you, your father will hear of this.
Say the word, and the giant is a dead duck.
Is a dead duck.
Yes. What do we do with the body?
Two hearts and a wedding broken by a melody? Incredible. Wait a minute. I have an idea that might turn this malice to a melody. Sing faithful and forever together as one song.
The giant will be a dead duck. Ha! Now we are getting at somewhere. Dear spies, destroy, crush, obliterate, annihilate. Kill him. I will attack at dawn. Affectionately yours, Bombo.
What you got there? Attack at dawn. Attack. Bombo's attack. Guards! 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 Bombo's attacking! Bombo's attacking! Bombo's attacking at dawn! Bombo's attacking! It's war! Bombo's attacking! To arms! It's war! The enemy attack! To the beach! To the beach! Bomb attacking! What? Bombo attacking! War! It's war! To the beach! To the beach! The enemy attack!
To defend Lilliput? Yes, forward march.
All together now, all together now.
Gulliver! Gulliver! Where are you? Bombo's attacking! Where are you, Gulliver? We'll be wiped out! Gulliver, where are you? Gulliver! Gulliver! Bombo's attacking! Gulliver! Gulliver! Bombo's attacking! It's war! Gulliver! It's war! Gulliver! Where are you? Gulliver! Gulliver! It's war! Gulliver! Bombo's attacking! Bombo's attacking! It's war! Let me down! Ha! Well, where you been, you lazy, long-legged, overgrown lummox? Now, get down there to that beach and wipe out that Bombo and that bunch of Lepidurians and tear them to pieces, and don't leave a man alive to tell the tale. Forward march!
Aye, aye, sir. My.
Hey! Wait for me! Gulliver! Wait for me! Wait for me, Gulliver!
There's a war that must be won. There's a job that must be done.
What is it? What did you do with it?
Where'd you lose it?
Who's got it now? Gulliver! Gulliver! Wait for me!
Let's go!
Hold on there. We can settle this peacefully. Listen! Hold your fire! Hear what I have to say. Order your men to lay down their arms. Must I make you listen?
David, look. Gulliver's Thunder Machine.
Wait here, Glory.
David.
David.
Poor, poor, foolish little people. Look what you've done. Now go ahead, break your nutshell heads over your songs. But did you have to break Glory's heart, King Little? Because you're thoughtless and selfish? And you, Bombo, oh mighty warrior, what have you won? You were too stubborn to think, too busy quarreling to lend ear to the harmony that might have been yours. But now, in your sorrow and despair, perhaps you'll listen to your songs as they might be sung. Remember that. Faithful forever. And thankful for you. I'll keep smiling.
Remember that.
We may be apart. Not then. But I'll hold you in my heart till you're in my arms again. Faithful forever. I promise to
In behalf of the peoples of Blefuscu and Lilliput, with eternal gratitude and love in our hearts, we christen thee Gulliver.
We are often told, God loves you. But what does that really mean? That some impersonal force, galaxies away, may consider you from time to time? Or that you are a single drop in a vast ocean of humanity, and God cares for all of it? There are billions of lives, billions of stories. Can we really believe He has great destinies planned for all of them? Surely the ruler of the universe has more important affairs than to notice the needs of one singular individual. But hear this, nothing could be further from the truth. When God says, I love you, it means that He crafted every detail of your being. Your every feature is His perfect design. His mind perceives your worries and your thoughts. His heart is broken by your pain. You are His child, created in His image. Your value exceeds all the riches of earth. Your worth extends beyond the stars. And though you may be unaware, He's carefully constructing the events of your life to build His kingdom. If you are willing, He can and will achieve wonders through your hands. It is the deepest passion, the most meaningful promise. It is your security, your hope, and your future. It is the truth beyond doubt. God loves you.
Now, I'm going to show you 3 things, and you've got to tell me what you do with them. Number 1, a pint of... Well, you seem to know what to do with that one, all right. Number 2, a handkerchief. Excellent. Remember, coughs and sneezes spread diseases. Now, number 3, a bowl of disinfectant. Hey, you don't drink it, man. That's for the soiled handkerchief, which is full of germs. You put the handkerchief into the disinfectant, which kills the germs and so stops the spread of infection. Now, let's get this quite clear. You sneeze into the handkerchief and then put the handkerchief into a bowl of disinfectant to kill the germs. Not in with the family's washing. Got it? Sure? Good. Remember, don't spread germs.
From the Library of Congress in Washington, D.C.
This is the story of centralized traffic control, an amazing electrical development in modern railroading. Here we have a passenger train speeding westward toward the Pacific coast. And here's an eastbound freight headed for Chicago on the same track. Miles away, the dispatcher can tell at a glance just what is happening. The high-precision equipment in front of him advises him of the exact location of every train in his division, and he may be controlling operation for as much as 250 miles. His job right now is to get those two trains past each other by using a siding. He sets switches and pushes buttons. And miles away, a switch opens. A signal light changes. The eastbound freight pulling 100 or more cars at high speed. The watchful engineer spots the warning signal. Speed is reduced. And as he passes the signal, his new position is recorded in the dispatcher's office. The freight takes the siding and moves along at reduced speed. The signals are ready to be reset. Now that the freight is clear of the main line. With a twist of a lever, the dispatcher notifies the speeding passenger train that the track is clear. And here it comes at 80 miles an hour. Thanks to the magic of centralized traffic control, the trains pass. The freight is still moving at slow speed. It has not become necessary for it to come to a complete halt. There goes the westbound. The pass has safely been completed. Now let's take care of the freight. He gets the signal. It's resume speed. And there goes the freight, back on the main line, eastbound to Chicago. That's centralized traffic control. One man controls traffic on a whole division of a railroad. When you bought your car with its powerful engine, luxurious interior, and beautiful body job, you probably had things like this in mind. The ability to go places and see things, to get around without restriction, to enjoy our beautiful country. But if you drive in our congested cities, you're apt to find yourself in a situation like this. You know, some 50 years ago, an automobile was developed which would go 10 miles an hour. And today, half a century later, that's what some of us are doing, 10 miles an hour. And the parking situation. Do I need to tell you? Your car for convenience, safety, and pleasure. And this is what you're getting. And this is where you're apt to end up. Why? Maybe we've been approaching the problem from the wrong angle. We've been thinking in terms of moving traffic, when we should think in terms of moving people. For example, look at all the cars in this typical downtown block, many of them carrying only one or two persons. All the people in all these cars jamming traffic would fit in just one bus, taking only a fraction of the space. And with all those cars gone, that bus would really get people there in jig time. In a typical city block, one trolley coach affords enough transportation per trip to remove the need for as many as 50 parking spaces. And a modern streetcar with its large capacity handles enough traffic each day to remove hundreds of cars from congested downtown areas. A modern high-speed transportation system carries as much traffic as 100 lanes of automobiles. And short surface trains, often operating along freeways, offer speedy, convenient transportation. Yes, before you start telling how buses and trolleys tied you up driving home, just think of the number of passengers these important transportation systems carry, and think what a complete mess traffic can be when they're not running. They've gone modern in a big way. Two-way radio cars advise dispatchers, enable extra facilities to be put on the streets to solve key traffic situations. And look at this as an example of how modern a transit vehicle system can be. Your automobile is an important part of your life, as it should be and will continue to be. And if you believe the problem of congestion can be helped by moving people instead of moving traffic, you'll realize the importance of trolleys and trolley coaches. We Americans are regarded as busy, progressive people. And maybe one of the reasons we get as much done as we do is because we know how to relax, how to take time off from daily problems and just plain have fun. For instance, each year, many of us in all sections of the country find sport and relaxation in just fishing. It's hard to describe the thrill of working that reel, knowing you've got a fighting beauty on the other end of the line, and that if you handle your rod right, you've got yourself another fish. Yep. It's hard to describe the thrill, but it's there. Just look at the size of that baby. They always taste better this way, cooked out in the open. There's a real man's meal. Sometimes the neighbors are shy, and sometimes they're as bold as brass. Fishing places run all the way from wilderness to spots where you have to drop your hook after the neighborhood kids go home. Some people fish in lakes. In fact, a lot of folks say it's the only kind. One thing about it, you can get to your favorite fishing spot in a hurry. And some people fix it so they can fish almost off the front porch. Fishing in the ocean is still another kind of fishing. And probably one of the greatest friendly arguments of all times goes on between freshwater fishermen and those who go in for the big ones from the briny deep. But the idea is the same. Relaxation away from the cares of the world. Pleasant companionship. And the thrill of catching that big one. It's a great sport, no matter where you go. You can have the time of your life just fishing. Here are a few famous Americans for you to identify, each of whom has been engaged in projects which have changed our lives. The first one is easy. It's President Theodore Roosevelt, of course. Now, who is the man on the left? This one may be a little harder. Here's a clue. He was the man responsible for one of the biggest construction jobs of all time. By the way, if these pictures look a little old and jumpy, they should. They were filmed clear back in 1914 at the actual opening of this great achievement, the Panama Canal. And the man we wanted you to identify was the chief engineer for this project. The man on the left, Colonel George W. Goethals. Who is the man seated at the desk? He's one of America's greatest inventors of all time. And this is regarded as probably the greatest of his many contributions to our way of living. Let's take a closer look. Recognize him? It's Thomas Alva Edison. Here's Mr. Edison with another electrical wizard, the man we'd like you to identify. The man with Edison was a mathematical genius. He obtained patents for over 200 improvements in the field of electricity. He was known as the father of alternating current. He is Charles P. Steinmetz. Now, who is this man? He was a general in spite of that collegiate coonskin coat. He was one of our country's earliest believers in air power and caused a considerable furor when he demonstrated a thing like this could happen. Remember him now, General Billy Mitchell. Remember the planes of World War I? And these early crates, we've come a long way since then. And in the last few years, too. Here are actual films of the first jet flight in America, October 1st, 1942. People have been experimenting with jet propulsion for a long time, and not always for planes. The principle of jet propulsion is found in Newton's third law of motion, which states that for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. For example, an ordinary rotary lawn sprinkler turns because of the reaction of the arms and the action of the jet of water. It does not turn because the water squirted out pushes against the air. It would spin just as well in a vacuum. Similarly, a jet plane flies because of the reaction to the jet, not because the jet pushes against the air behind it. The engine itself, with modern developments, consists of two rotating elements: the compressor and the turbine, which are both mounted on a single rotating shaft. Air is drawn in, compressed, and packed into the firing chambers where the fuel is injected. The constantly burning fuel tremendously increases the energy of the enclosed gases which rush through the turbine and out. The turbine, operating like a windmill, supplies the power to spin the compressor. The expanding gases, pushing their way out the rear at about 1,200 miles per hour, give the plane its forward thrust. This is the heart of the jet engine, the turbine wheel, the most tortured piece of metal in the world. It must not twist in the superheated gases. It must not corrode. It must not tear itself apart at 8,000 revolutions a minute. The turbine wheel, running red hot, is just a few feet away from the compressor, sucking in air that may be 65 degrees below zero. This turbine wheel is an outstanding example of design and craftsmanship. Jet propulsion changed the whole outlook of the aviation industry. Of course, many developments have been made in jet engines. Each new model is more powerful and more efficient than the last one. In one 6-month period, 3 designs were okayed, each more powerful than the preceding one. The last of these is no larger than the first, yet delivers so much more thrust that it is not even in the same class. America's scientists and engineers and metallurgists went to work, and thanks to them, our country is rapidly achieving a degree of jet supremacy which may well play an important part in our lives in the future.
This has been a presentation of the Library of Congress. Visit us at loc.gov.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Becoming Your Mom support group. We have some visitors with us today. Welcome to you. My name is Mark, and I'm the group leader. And I think we'll start by reciting our mission statement. We love our moms, but we are not our moms.
We love our moms, but we are not our moms.
Carol, would you mind starting us off this week?
Hi everyone, I'm Carol.
Hi, Carol.
I'm the oldest of 3 roommates, and I'm turning into my mom. I clean up everything after them. I've even started doing their laundry.
I talk to myself in the grocery store all the time.
All of my status updates are just pictures of kids. I don't even have kids.
Same. Well, kids and recipes.
The other day, I almost licked my finger and wiped the face of a total stranger.
I keep saying words like garbage and target. What is that?
I'll send a text to someone just to let them know I sent them an email.
Well, how else would they know?
Right?
I mean, these shoes were on sale. What am I supposed to do? Not buy them?
I call my husband my son's name. And sometimes I call my son the dog's name.
I always tell people, I'll be like 2 minutes, then it'll be like an hour.
Whoa, whoa, take it easy there. Shannon already has a tissue. We really don't need to offer her one.
I do.
Did you see how they let the momness overtake them? So you may not be able to avoid becoming your mom, but the key is to let the beautiful things about moms shine through in your life. The kindness, the caring, the compassion, the qualities that God gave moms when He created them.
Oh, like when I text my friends, LOL, lots of love.
That's not what LOL means.
That's what my son told me it meant.
LOL, lots of love. What else would it mean?
You know, I used to be an amazing dancer, Now when I dance, people just get embarrassed. Can I show you?
Yeah. No, Carol. Carol, sit down. It's not bad. Carol, please. 1, 2.
Give thanks for the good days. When the traffic lights all turn green, when promotions come and bad habits are broken. Give thanks for warm meals and the company of friends. Give thanks for undeniable blessings and clear direction, when the music floods your soul and the worship songs flow without effort. Give thanks for coffee and clothing and hope that the two never mix. Give thanks for the mother who battles daily in prayer, for the father working 3 jobs, for the brothers and sisters who build blanket forts and read bedtime stories. Give thanks for sons and daughters and all our family who remind us of what truly matters. Give thanks for the stranger who holds the door open and the lifelong friend who holds you when life is broken. Give thanks for the hard days, for the phone call that brings life crashing down, for jobs lost and friendships fallen into conflict. Give thanks for the anger that reminds us we are human, and the tears that express more than words could ever fathom. Give thanks, though the pain is overwhelming, your energy spent, your spirit fallen, and your only option is to fall to your knees before your Holy Father and cry out, God, please, help me. For in that moment, His power is made perfect. His love is made evident. He becomes your strength, your comfort, and your salvation. Give thanks for the power of redemption, from Genesis to Revelation, for the endless promises of a God who would rather sacrifice His Son than give up on His children. For nail-pierced hands, for brilliant dawns, for the cool touch of rain and the simplicity of a quiet day. For all things great and small, let us give thanks.
From the Library of Congress in Washington, D.C.
Well, that's certainly busy.
Well, I hope Coach gets a kicker.
Mr. Jerry, Journal wants you on the phone.
Okay. I wonder what he wants.
Probably wants to fire you.
Well, you would think of something like that, wouldn't you?
Where in the world do you suppose he is? What do you suppose is keeping him? Do you think Miner's been hurt?
Oh, Mrs. Smith.
Do you? Do you think Miner's been hurt?
Oh, I hope, probably.
Hello. Well, it's just about time.
Well, I came just fast as I could. What do you want? Does Jeff Farmer want to talk to me?
No, I do. How much longer are you going to be? Where's Miner? Has he been hurt?
No, Miner's not hurt. He's okay. We'll be along a little while. The boys are just practicing. Will you quit bothering me?
Jerry. Jerry Major. Jerry! He deliberately hung up on me. Something tells me that Miner's been hurt.
Oh, Mrs. Smith, how could he be hurt in practice? He couldn't, could he, Mr. Farmer?
Certainly not.
Managing editor, Mr. Farmer, on your phone.
It's Miner. I know he's been hurt.
Mrs. Smith, may I have my phone, please?
Certainly, Mr. Farmer.
Thank you. Hello. Yes, I know that Jim Thorpe is out at Southern College helping the coach to find a kicker for the big game against Stratford. Jerry Major Smith interviewed Thorpe this morning. He's out at the practice field now. No, I haven't the interview yet. Yes, here it is. His sister just brought it in. Jim Thorpe played for the Carlisle Indians and beat Harvard single-handed. When? Oh, I don't know. I'll look it up.
It was November 11, 1911. It was 3 goals, one from the 30-yard line, one from the 40-yard line, and one from the 48-yard line. And the score was 18-15 in favor of Carlisle.
Listen, boys. If the laces are not up on receiving the ball from the center, don't take too much time. Adjust the ball on a step forward and kick. Pass the ball to me, Sonny, will you?
Okay.
Boy, is that a pip.
Boy, it's a daub, isn't it?
Well, that's sure wonderful, ain't it?
Uh-uh.
Can you imagine being a kicker like that?
You're quite a kicker yourself, Jerry.
Well, I'll show you how I can kick. Come on,
What a
help me up,
kicker.
will you?
Come on, get up. Oh!
Well,
I can't get you up, brother, but I'll sure keep you company.
Say, listen, you. Wait till your sports editor sees my story about Thorpe. It's in the Journal now. I saw Thorpe at the hotel.
Yeah? I met him at the train.
Oh.
Once again, Jim.
Okay.
Everybody watch this closely.
Now, hold it a minute, Jim, will you? I want my nephew to see you. Hey, Jerry Miner!
Go! Hey, go!
Jerry Miner!
Go! 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 Hey, what happened there? Who left that machine?
Jerry, I want you to get over there and watch closely now when Jim kicks.
Okay, Major.
Oh, will you please? All right, Jim.
Now remember, boys, the art of drop kicking is to always keep your eye on the ball and never look up until the ball is in flight. All right, son.
That's marvelous, Jim. The same whole form of 10 years ago, huh? Say, Jerry, I want you to meet Jim Thorpe. My nephew, Jerry Minor.
Hello,
Jim.
Jerry. Hello, Mr.
Say, you know what I wish
Thorpe.
you'd do for me? I wish you'd give the kid here a few pointers on how to kick.
Sure.
That'll be swell.
I'm sorry, Jerry, but I got to run my squad my own way.
Well, that's okay, Bill, but listen. Now, you lost the last 3 games with 1 point, didn't you? Because you didn't have a kicker. Now, I'm going to tell you how to get that 1 point. Jim here can give Jerry Minor a few pointers, and your troubles are over.
Go over and hit that dummy, Smith.
All right, Coach.
I've got to have discipline on this squad.
Well, that's okay, Bill.
And
that's not all you're going to get. Say, when your sister finds out that you've been
Oh, will
encouraging...
you hush?
Yes, Mrs. Dutcher, yes. Yes?
Hello, hello.
Yes?
All right, just a moment. Joe, get on your phone and take a story.
Yes, Mrs. Crutchley, yes.
Brown, a Stratford football player, has been hurt in practice. He won't be out in time for the big game against Southern. Put in the box on page 1. Okay.
Yes, Mrs. Crutcher. Something's happened. I'll call you later. Did you say somebody's been hurt?
Yeah.
That settles it. I am not going to allow Minor to even practice with those boys.
No, I wouldn't.
All right, Gang, come on, boy, in there. Charge hard in there. Leave your feet in there, boy. That's the way to hit it in there. That's fine. Fine work in there. Come on now, boy. Let's see it. Charge hard. That's the way to hit it. That's fine work this time. Come on. Hit him hard in there this time. Roll with that old dummy this time. Come on, boy. Of all the dumb tricks, turn in your suit.
Oh, look, Coach. Geez, I'm sorry. Give me another chance, will you?
Hey, you've had more chances than any man on this squad. Now get out of here. Scram.
Oh.
I don't want you around here, dog. Get out. Come on, gang. Let's go to work in there. Big dumbbell. That's the way to hit it. Roll with it under this time, boy. Leave your feet. Let's go put her in there now. Come on.
Well, what are you going to do about your All-American?
Well, I guess Minor's just not cut out to be a football player.
You sure kept your promise to your sister.
What promise?
That Jerry Minor would never play football. You're certainly a man of your word.
Oh.
What's the matter, kid?
Oh, I got to turn in my suit. I'm through.
Is there anything I can do?
No. Thanks, Mr. Thorpe.
I'm sorry.
See you kick one the way Jim showed you.
Coach, look it. Who kicked that ball?
What a kick.
Find the man that kicked that ball and bring him here.
Come on, boys. Hey! Did you kick that ball?
Yeah.
Boy,
Well.
we got one. Come on, the head coach wants you.
Look! It's Minor. Didn't I tell you? I knew he could do it.
I don't believe it.
Well, you saw the ball, didn't you? What more do you want?
I still don't believe it.
No, you wouldn't. Well, Coach, you've got that extra point. You've got a kicker now.
2 state players were sent to the hospital after today's practice. Put it on page 1. Okay.
Ginger, did you hear that? Oh, if we stay here long enough, every football player will go to the hospital.
Oh, Mrs. Smith, more people are killed in bathtubs than in football.
Well, I'll take mine in the bathtub. It's a cleaner sport.
Bill, what was the Southern California Notre Dame score last year?
16-14 favors Southern California.
Come on, Minor.
Well, here he is, Look at him. Today's big story. Southern College's ace kicker, Jerry Minor Smith. Look at him. Jeff, what do you think?
Yeah?
I go out to watch Thorpe work, and here I find the answer to a coach's prayer.
Hello, dear.
So,
what?
you lied to me. You told me Miner wasn't going to play football.
He didn't play football. He only kicked the ball. And what a kick, Jeff. It must have gone 100 yards.
What? Minor actually on the team?
That's what
Well.
the coach says.
Oh, Miner, did they really pick you?
Well, I guess so.
Oh, Miner.
Boy, get a photographer.
I understand this, Major. You have deceived me.
I did not. I had nothing to do with it. Do you know what's happened? Do you know what's about to happen? Your son is about to become an All-American.
Why, he is an American. He was born here.
Okay, Chief, what do you want?
Photograph Jerry Minor Smith and have it ready for the sports page tomorrow.
Okay, sit over there, kid.
If anybody's going to have their picture taken with Jerry Minor, I am.
Well, I discovered him.
Are you his mother?
Are you his uncle?
I'm his mother.
Well, I'm his uncle.
Will somebody please tell me who I'm photographing?
You guess.
With the score 0-0 in the last quarter and only 5 minutes left to play, it
Seems likely that the big game between Southern College and Stratford will end in a tie. Stratford has the ball on Southern's 25-yard line. 3rd down and 7 to go. Fans, this is some football game. The stadium is jammed and every seat is taken.
They're going into a huddle now.
What's a huddle?
A huddle? Oh, you tell her,
Oh,
Ginger.
I know. It's like the dugout in baseball, isn't it?
Yeah.
Southern's all spread out. My end is wide.
Can we crash through him now?
Sure.
Okay, it's 33.
Stratford's out of the huddle. They're in line.
The ball is snapped. The Stratford back has it. He's coming around left end. He's away. 5, 10, it's a touchdown.
Well, it's all over now. Those 6 points were as good as 100.
If they kick goal, we're sunk.
They're lined up. The ball is kicked, and it goes over. They make the extra point. The score is now 7-0.
Well, for goodness sake, they're starting all over again.
They're kicking off. They always... Oh.
Well, that's the 3rd time they've done that.
They're kicking off to get the ball in play.
Well, why doesn't the coach let Minor kick? If he isn't going to let him kick, why don't he let him come up here and sit with us?
Fine. This is just where he should be.
Oh, will you hush?
Southern kicks off deep in the Stratford territory. What marvelous interference those boys in black have. They pass the middle of the field. But a Southern man is through, and look, he makes the tackle on the Stratford player.
Oh, you big brute! He hit that poor man when he was carrying the ball and couldn't defend himself.
3 minutes left to play.
Stratford's ball on the 30-yard line.
1st down and 10 to go.
Do they have to go down 10 times before they can play?
Oh, no, lady, no.
Looks like Stratford's on the way for another touchdown. Oh, he fumbled. A Southern man gets it.
Oh, boy, a touchdown. That may tie the score. No, the referee is blowing his whistle.
Oh, goody. It's a put down.
Oh, will you sit? He didn't score. His body, other than his hands or feet, touched the ground. And when that happens, under the new rule, the ball is dead. See, they're bringing it back now.
Boy, oh boy, that's tough. A touchdown right within their grasp and a good chance the Tigers will score, but the new rule kills it. Every minute counts. There goes the fullback. It's a lateral pass. He's away. He's out there. No, he's thrown out of bounds.
Boy, oh boy, this game isn't over yet.
They're out of the huddle. They're lined up. Center snaps the ball to the quarterback. The quarterback has it. It looks like a reverse. No, it's a fake reverse. And boy, that line opened up a hole that a wagon could drive through. And look, now they're going. They're going. Hooray! A touchdown!
Hope we make this point. Wonder if I better put Jerry Smith in the kick.
You'll never make it, Coach. Southern now has a chance to tie the score. Will they do it? Oh, it's wide. That makes the score still 7-6.
Well, you might as well get your Flash X out now. Southern College, those kickless wonders failed to convert. Yeah, it's the same old story. Too bad. Too bad.
2 minutes left to play. If that dumbbell had put Jerry Minor in there to kick, the score would be tied now.
I wish they'd put Minor in.
An onside. It's an onside kick, and it's good. Adam Sutherland has it, and they tackle him hard. Looks like he's hurt. There's only 1 minute more to play.
Time out for Southern.
We're sunk, Coach. A drop kick's our only chance.
How about putting Jerry Smith in?
The only thing to do.
Oh, Coach, put Jerry Minor in. Don't you do it.
It's our only hope.
Smith, come here.
Where are you going?
I'm going down to get my boy. I'm not going to let them hurt him.
Will you calm yourself and sit down?
It's just time for a drop kick. Make one like you did the other day, boy.
Take him to hell
Take
out
him
of
off the field, boys.
Carrying Adams off the field. He's a great player, and they're giving him a great hand.
Jerry, don't you let them put Minor in. Haven't you got any influence with that head man?
Oh, will you sit down, sis?
Mr. Gallagher, why is Minor standing way over there by himself? Don't the boys like him?
Why, no, you see, an incoming player can't talk to his teammates until after the first play is over.
That's to prevent him carrying instructions from the coach.
Oh.
Coach sent Smith in to kick. Stratford knows that. Let's fool him. Pull a pass to Minor.
All right, let's go.
Going to be a pass. A long one to Smith. And he misses it.
Poor Minor, just his luck.
Poor Minor.
Well, he did his best.
Only 30 seconds left to play.
Coach wants me to drop kick.
So clear back here?
Sure. Holy smoke. Well, come on, let's try it. The timekeeper's ready to end the game. Cutting. It'll be time enough for this play.
No! Get him in there.
The ball is snapped. He's going to kick it. There goes the gun. And it goes over, and Southern wins 9-7.
Southern 9, Stratford 7.
Minor made the kick. I told him so.
Yeah, Minor made the kick.
Yes, Minor made the kick.
Of course Minor made the kick.
Minor, come out of that huddle.
This has been a presentation of the Library of Congress. Visit us at loc.gov. From the Library of Congress in Washington, D.C.
The scientists of the world have freely exchanged their knowledge. This worldwide search for truth has led to the greatest of all discoveries, atomic energy. No one scientist or nation is responsible. The periodic law of the elements was discovered of relativity by Einstein, a German. The atomic nucleus by Rutherford, a New Zealander. Atomic structure by the Dane, Niels Bohr. Positron by Anderson of the United States. The neutron by Chadwick of Great Britain. Artificial radioactivity by the Joliots of France. Uranium was transmuted by Fermi of Italy. The mesotron theory was developed by Yukawa in Japan. Barium was derived from uranium by Hahn of Germany. Uranium was split by Meitner of Austria. This pooling of knowledge is shared by all. There is no secret. When a neutron strikes, the atom is split. Released neutrons split other atoms. The result is atomic energy. Shall the people of the world use this energy for the destruction or the betterment of mankind? The United States used this power to destroy Hiroshima. A flash, a blast, the release of deadly radioactive rays, and in a matter of seconds, downtown New York would be a mass of ruins. Throughout the entire lower end of Manhattan, most people would be dead. All buildings from Washington Square to the Battery would be destroyed. In Chicago, from Halsted Street to Lake Michigan and from Chicago Avenue to Roosevelt Road, the city would lie in ruins. In San Francisco, devastation would be complete from Pacific Avenue to Townsend Street, and from Van Ness Avenue to the Ferry Building. One atomic bomb did this to a city and its people. Even the most ruthless aggressors of the past had no such weapon. The soldier of Alexander with one spear killed one. Napoleon's cannon in one firing killed 12. The Kaiser's Big Bertha killed 88. Hitler's V-2 killed 168. Japan's war against the United States ended after a B-29 dropped one atomic bomb that killed close to 100,000. The deadly power can be exerted at great distances. The first atomic bomb was dropped on a round trip of 3,000 miles on August 1945. On November 20th of that year, the effective range was extended to 8,000 miles. The United States had demonstrated that an atomic bomb could be launched to reach any country in the world. A grim reminder to all nations that had the bomb and this plane been in possession of the Axis powers, they could have conquered the world. There would have been no defense against this weapon. A single plane would have broken through to destroy the heart of London. V-2s with atomic warheads could have destroyed England. At the moment of surrender, Hitler had in the blueprint stage transoceanic rockets, which could have destroyed our city. U-boats could have surfaced off our shores and launched atomic rockets against vital targets. The fifth column would have had an even more insidious means of destruction. Parts of bombs could have been smuggled in, and under the cloak of darkness, infernal machines could have been assembled by saboteurs. It is therefore an imperative necessity that all the nations of the world unite to avert catastrophe. The United Nations must establish a worldwide control of atomic energy and of other weapons of mass destruction. Representatives of the peoples of the world must together make laws which will abolish war, laws which will hold the individual in all lands responsible for crime against world peace. Only through proper control of atomic energy can we answer the question how this great force may be used for the benefit of mankind. Atomic energy, freed from the menace of war, can be for all people in all nations the great fusing force of one world. The choice is clear. It is life or death.
This has been a presentation of the Library of Congress. Visit us at loc.gov.
In 1943, it was one of our strategic aims to draw as many German forces as possible away from the Russian front and French coastal areas and to contain them on the Italian peninsula while liberating as much of Italy as might be possible with the means at our disposal. As the bulk of our supplies was directed to England for the forthcoming invasion, operations in Italy had to be conducted on an extremely limited scale. Thus it came about that during the winter months, the number of Allied divisions in Italy was greatly reduced. Yet so determined was their effort that they succeeded in holding in Italy a very large number of German divisions during the pre-invasion period. San Pietro in the 5th Army sector was the key to the Liri Valley. We knew it, and the enemy knew it. We had to take it, even though the immediate cost would be high. We took it, and the cost in relation to the later advance was not excessive. By its very nature, this success worked bitter hardships upon each individual soldier, calling for the full measure of his courage and devotion. The response of our 5th Army troops provides an inspiring page in our military history. To these individuals, living and dead, and to those who now continue in their tradition, this picture is dedicated.
Liri Valley lies in the Italian Midland, some 60 miles northwest of Naples to some 40 miles southeast of Rome. A wide, flat corridor enclosed between 4 walls of mountains. In winter, the highest peaks of the Liri Range ascend into the snows, but the valley floor with its olive groves and ancient vines, its crops of wheat and corn, is green the year around. That is, in normal times. Last year was a bad year for grapes and olives, and the fall planting was late. Many fields lay fallow. There are 2 ways from the south into the valley. One, a narrow pass. The other, a high, scenic road over the mountains. They converge before the site of the ancient village of San Pietro, which for 700 years has stood at the threshold of Liri Valley, welcoming the traveler. The stones of its walls were quarried out of the parent hill from whose slopes it rises. Population 1,412 at the last census. A farming community. Patron saint, Peter. Point of interest, St. Peter's, 1438. Note, interesting treatment of chancel. From the end of October 1943 until the middle of December, San Pietro and the surrounding ground was the scene of some of the bitterest fighting on our 5th Army front. The Italian campaign had entered its second phase, to push forward again after a static period brought on by heavy seasonal rains. Our battle lines were haphazard as the terrain itself, with its flood-swollen rivers that twisted back and forth across our line of march so that each river seemed like 5. And where there was no river to cross, a mountain blocked our going, each peak ahead being a few meters higher than the last we had won, so that each new peak had to be fought for, the hard, uphill way, with the enemy looking down our throats. They had had time to fortify and camouflage their positions. No amount of artillery fire or aerial bombardment could force them to withdraw. That was for the infantry to do, employing those weapons that can find and destroy life in narrow trenches, caves, and fighting holes. It was up to the man with the rifle, the man under fire from all weapons, the man whose way all our weapons, land, air, and sea, serve only to prepare. It was up to the foot soldier to attack a hidden enemy over ground that was sown with mines, the anti-personnel S-mines that fly up at a footfall to explode beneath the groin. Nowhere along the entire front were enemy preparations more elaborate than in the San Pietro area. For San Pietro stands at the threshold of Leary Valley, and through Leary Valley, wide and level, runs the most highly prized length of road south of Rome. By early December, we had taken and were holding high ground to the northeast, east, and south of San Pietro, the Camino Maggiore hill mass being last to fall. An Italian brigade under Allied command had made a vain attempt to capture Mount Lungo, possession of which would have acted greatly to our benefit in the impending action. The Italians were all but annihilated. In view of their excessive losses, further operations against Mount Lungo's strategic heights were abandoned. And it was decided to make a direct frontal assault on enemy positions in and around San Pietro. Elements of the 36th Texas Infantry Division were rotated from position to position, overlooking the valley, so the troops might study the terrain ahead from various viewpoints. Patrol activity was continuous. Day and night, units went out to reconnoiter the ground, draw fire, take prisoners, thus adding to the sum of our information about the enemy. High points, Mount Lungo's 351 and Mount Samucro's 1205 and 950 were all manned in force. The town itself was strongly garrisoned with numerous mortar, machine gun, and heavy weapon emplacements. 4 enemy battalions were dug into a line of connecting trenches and mutually supporting pillboxes in depth that extended from the base of Mount Lungo, northeast across the valley floor to the base of Mount Samucro. Another battalion was organized to defend the high ground northwest of San Pietro. Areas before these positions were heavily mined and held a confusion of barbed wire and booby traps. On the afternoon before, D-Day and H-Hour were communicated to battalion commanders. December 8th, at 0620 hours, the 1st Battalion of the 143rd Infantry Regiment to attack the summit of 1205, having moved up the mountain under cover of darkness, and upon achieving its objective to attack along the ridge to a point northwest of San Pietro. The 3rd Ranger Battalion likewise to attack 950, another feature of the Mount Samucro hill mass. The 2nd Battalion of the 143rd to attack over the terraced olive orchards northeast of San Pietro. The 3rd Battalion acting in support to follow the 2nd at 400 yards. Of the original force to establish the beachhead at Salerno, the 143rd had since spent all but a fortnight in action under extremely bitter weather conditions. At Salerno, at the Volturno crossing, it had taken mortal punishment. The task ahead promised no less bloodshed, yet it was undertaken in good spirits and high confidence. The 1st Battalion began the long, rugged climb up Mount Samucro. Night fell, our artillery opened up, and throughout the night hours, intense fire was laid down on the enemy's main line of resistance. It had rained most of the night, and it was raining at each hour when the 2nd and 3rd Battalions crossed the line of departure. Some 200 yards forward, they encountered mines and automatic fire from pillboxes. Artillery were deadly accurate by reason of excellent enemy observation from Mount Lungo, overlooking our advance, which continued another 200 to 400 yards. Many men gave their lives in attempts to reach pillboxes and throw hand grenades through the narrow gun openings. The 3rd Battalion was committed. But the advance never got more than 600 yards past the line of departure. Our initial assault on San Pietro had been repulsed with heavy casualties. The attack on Hill 1205, however, was a brilliant success. Leading elements of the 1st Battalion had gained the summit of the objective before a strongly entrenched enemy knew that an assault was in progress. To the right of 1205, the 3rd Ranger Battalion had also captured its objective, but only after successive attacks and costly casualties. For on 950, the enemy was not taken unaware. Counterattacks were to be expected on both 1205 and 950. They were not long developing. The first was launched during the early daylight hours, and even as it was beaten off, another took form. Day and night they followed in unremitting violence. The toll of enemy dead mounted with each new attempt. But German prisoners captured on 1205 and 950 said they had been ordered to retake those positions at all cost. In addition to defending Hill 1205, the 1st Battalion, obedient to the field order, undertook the reduction of enemy defenses which were organized along the ridge running west. On the 12th of December, the 1st Battalion was reinforced by the 504th Parachute Battalion, which took over and maintained the defenses of 1205 and 950. thereby enabling the 1st Battalion to throw its entire remaining strength into the assault along the ridge. But the 1st strength had dwindled and shrunk in the 5 days past, and there was now a question as to whether its existing numbers were sufficient to prevail. Reports during the night of the 14th of December stated that the enemy was offering bitter resistance and that the issue was in grave doubt. Meanwhile, on the olive terraces below, the 2nd and 3rd Battalions had twice again attempted to reach their objective. Both times they had come up against a wall of automatic weapon, mortar, and artillery fire. Volunteer patrols made desperate attempts to reach enemy positions and reduce strong points. Not a single member of any such patrol ever came back alive. Our attacking forces were furnished excellent aerial cover by Allied fighter patrols. But now and then, enemy planes were able to slip through and to bomb and strafe our positions, which to all purposes had remained unchanged since the 1st day. To break the deadlock, orders were given for a coordinated divisional attack. The 2nd and 3rd Battalions of the 143rd to proceed in the execution of the original orders. Acting in conjunction, Company A of the 753rd Tank Battalion to attack San Pietro from the east over the high road. 1 battalion of the 141st to attack over the flat valley floor. After nightfall on D-Day, the 142nd Infantry Regiment to attack Mount Lungo. The earlier decision not to attack those strategic heights having been reversed in view of the present critical situation. In preparation for the attack, all 5th Army artillery within range, including tanks and all tracks, was directed against San Pietro and the surrounding area. H hour, 1200 hours. D-Day, the 15th of December. The 141st Infantry advanced some 400 yards from its line of departure, to be borne down and held powerless under the weight of enemy fire. The 2nd and 3rd Battalions of the 143rd advanced some 100 yards beyond their former positions to a point almost directly before forward enemy defenses. And for the 3rd time, they were forced to take such cover as the quaking earth could offer. And the tanks. Orders were for them to enter the town and to locate and destroy the heavy weapons there, which were leveled against our attacking foot soldiers. The high road into San Pietro is a narrow mountain road, and from the beginning of its winding descent in the Liri Valley, it was under direct enemy observation. "16 tanks started down that road. 3 reached the outskirts of the town. Of these, 2 were destroyed, and 1 was missing. 5 tanks were immobilized behind enemy lines, their crews having to abandon them. 5 tanks hit enemy mines within our lines and were thereupon destroyed by enemy gunfire. 4 tanks returned to the bivouac area. After dark, 2 companies, 1 from the 2nd Battalion and 1 from the 3rd, finally succeeded in penetrating enemy positions before San Pietro. But receiving both frontal and flanking fire, they were forced to retire. Company E having been reduced in strength to a handful of riflemen, and Company L faring little better. On the Mount Samocro Ridge, the 1st Battalion fought its way to within a few hundred yards of the objective. But it had paid for ground gained at the rate of a man a yard, and it did not have strength to carry the fight any further forward. On Mount Lungo, however, despite bitter resistance, battalions of the 142nd, in successive waves, kept pushing upwards. Until, in the early daylight hours of the 16th of December, its foot soldiers had gained the summit and were wiping up what remained of a stubborn enemy. And that height proved to be a key position in the enemy plan of defense. For even as Mount Lungo fell, the enemy throughout the San Pietro area made preparations to withdraw. Almost invariably, the enemy will counterattack to cover a withdrawal. The first violent thrust was delivered within a few hours. And thereafter, counterattacks came in waves, the roar of the last mingling with the rush and fury of the next to break. Many companies lost all their officers. Enlisted men came forward as inspirational leaders to rally their battered companies into resisting yet one more onslaught. Our own artillery was brought to fall within 100 yards of our front-line elements. After 5 hours, during which the earth never ceased to tremble, counterattacks ended, indicating that the withdrawal of the enemy's main body had commenced. In an effort to maintain contact with the enemy, our patrols immediately pushed ahead. Entering the town, they discovered that San Pietro was ours for the taking. The 2nd and 3rd Battalions, less than a rifle company in strength, weary to death who were alive, stumbled forward past San Pietro to consolidate gains and re-establish contact with the enemy, now taking up new positions some 5 kilometers beyond. That is the broad shape of the Battle of San Pietro, which was but the first of many battles in the Erie Valley. It was a very costly battle. After the battle, the 143rd Infantry Regiment alone required 1,100 replacements. The lives lost were precious lives to their country, to their loved ones, and to the men themselves. For the living of the 143rd Infantry Regiment, more than 100 decorations for acts of valor above and beyond the call of duty. Many among these you see alive here have since joined the ranks of their brothers in arms who fell at San Pietro. For ahead lay San Vittore and the Rapido River and Cassino, and beyond Cassino more rivers and more mountains and more towns, more San Pietros, greater or lesser, 1,000 more. As the battle passed over and beyond San Pietro, westward, townspeople began to appear, coming out of their caves in the mountains where they had stayed in hiding during the enemy occupation. They were mostly old people and children. Against enemy mines and booby traps, which were in the process of being cleared. Children are able to forget quickly. Yesterday they wept. Today there are smiles and even laughter. Tomorrow it will be as though the bad things had never happened. Living was resumed in San Pietro. Our prime military aim being to engage and defeat the enemy. The capture of the town itself and the liberation of its people is of an incidental nature. But the people in their military innocence look upon us solely as their deliverers. It was to free them and their farmlands that we came. Behind our lines, southwest to the sea, the fields are green with growing crops planted after our coming by other people of other towns who believed likewise. The new won earth at San Pietro was plowed and sown. It should yield a good harvest this year. And the people prayed to their patron saint to intercede with God in behalf of those who came, delivered them, and passed on to the north with the passing battle.
Welcome once again to our Becoming Your Mom support group. This is a special day for us. It's our 1-year anniversary. Congratulations to all of you who are getting your 12-month pins. Richard, why don't you read what it says there?
Okay, it says, our mission statement. We love our moms, but we are not our moms.
Let's all say that together.
We love our moms, but we are not our moms.
Progress reports. Who'd like to share? Sure.
Hi everyone, I'm Rachel.
Hi Rachel.
I am very excited to share that I have not posted a picture of my food on Instagram in over 3 weeks.
Oh, that's...
I am now limiting myself to only 4 coupons per shopping trip.
Oh, and I've stopped referring to every cashier as honey or sweetie. Let me tell you, that is a struggle.
Yeah, I started buying my own napkins instead of taking them from restaurants.
Oh, Shannon's gonna be late. And she sent me a text with 16 different emojis.
16? Okay, well, we'll discuss that later. Anyone else? Okay, well, what things are still giving you difficulty?
Whenever I'm in a vehicle and the driver pushes the brakes, I always grab the dashboard like we're gonna die or something.
I stay up at night worrying about whether my friends are taking all their vitamins.
I daydream about having just 5 minutes to myself.
Don't you live alone?
Yeah, it's weird, right?
Sometimes I still ask my friends if they have to go potty. They're all adults.
I put up shelves just so I can put little knickknacks on them.
Hi, sorry I had to drop my sister off at dance, and then I had to bring the dog to the groomer, which is right before my voice lesson, and then I had a meeting.
Okay, I'm gonna stop you right there. Who can tell me, what was Shannon's mistake?
Overbooking.
She overbooked.
Too many activities. Right.
So even though you're still working through some of these things, it just shows that your mom is part of who you are. And that includes all of their love, their devotion, the heart of God that now lives in you.
And remember, you can still be hip and cool. I even started playing that video game, Fork Knife.
Fork Knife? I think you mean...
Is that some kind of culinary game?
Oh, the one where you crush all the candy.
How does this always happen? Carol, just a reminder, there's no dancing during group time.
But why?
Because I said so, that's why.
You may have met a few people who like doing this sort of thing. They're a nuisance, I agree, but pretty harmless. You have certainly found things like this. They're not a nuisance. They're a real danger. Hi, stop it, you. Stop it. Stop it. Come here. What do you think you're up to? You've probably infected thousands of people already. What do you think this is for? Yes, that's all right, but here's another way of using your handkerchief. Now sneeze. Come on. All right, never mind. Close your eyes. Now, handkerchief. Sneeze. Sneeze, handkerchief. Got it? Fine. Understand? Handkerchief, sneeze. See what I mean? That's the idea. Fine. Now you can carry on.
All of us will reach a crossroads in life, a decision that has to be made. Some can be small and insignificant. Others seem like they could shape the course of our entire lives. How can we know the will of God? How can we correctly choose the path He has set out for us? And what if we make the wrong decision? We spend sleepless nights and days filled with anxiety when we place these burdens upon ourselves. Often we become isolated, feeling completely alone in finding the right answer. Sometimes we're tempted to rush into a decision. Other times we'd rather delay indefinitely. But for those who call Him Father, for those who believe in the power of His name, He provides everything we need to follow His will. He gives us His word as a compass and inspiration. Those who live according to Scripture will always follow in His footsteps. He blesses us with wise counsel through His church and the leaders He has set in place. He hears our every prayer, granting peace and wisdom to those who ask. His very Spirit dwells in us, a still small voice that guides from within our hearts. And in His perfect timing, He will open doors. He will clear the way forward. And no matter the path you choose, you are never alone. He will walk beside you and enfold you with His love, from now until the end of eternity. So trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will make your paths straight.
What's a rainy day?
Visitors.
You know they're signing a wedding contract?
There's a giant on the beach. There's a giant out there. Oh, listen to
Your Majesty.
Thank you, Your Majesty. Marriage contract. King Little of Lilliput on this 5th day of November give the hand of his daughter, Princess Glory, to Prince David, son of Bombo, King of Blefuscu. Right, in order. Right. Sing, Bambo. We did it.
Yes, we certainly did, didn't we?
Just a couple of old Dan Cupids, I think.
Your Majesty, the wedding things are here.
There's a giant on the beach. There's a giant.
Exquisite taste. Exquisite.
Roses, precious, rhododendrons, ranunculus, snapdragons und daisies. Pretty posies, aren't they?
Beautiful blooms. Beautiful.
May I? Oh, please do.
Magnificent. A masterpiece. Vanilla. Wow!
My only little daughter. I dread losing her.
Oh, buck up there, old boy. You're not losing a daughter. You're gaining a son. My son, David. Lovely melody.
Yes, we like it. That is Faithful, the song of Lilliput. It will be played at the wedding tomorrow.
Of course, of course. Oh, what's that? Faithful? Oh, no, no. Forever, the song of Blefuscu must be played at the wedding.
But, Bombo, Faithful is always played at our weddings. It's tradition, sir. And it's very pretty.
Yes, I know. Pleasant little ditty, but hardly appropriate for this great occasion. But forever, there's a song for you. Ha-ha!
Faithful will be played.
Ah, twaddle. Absolute twaddle. It must be forever.
Faithful.
Forever.
Faithful.
Forever. It will be forever, or there will be no wedding.
No wedding, but the cake and the pretty flowers and... Oh, Mambo, you love Faithful.
Oh, shut up! Take your... Why, this is an outrage! It's war!
Oh, it's me. Oh, it's me.
I found the mountain, Your Majesty. I found it. It was a man mountain.
War is nice.
It was this big. No, it was this big.
People are hurt in wars.
He's as big as... Wait, Your Majesty.
Mambo can't frighten me. No, sir. Speak up. Don't stand there like a nincompoop.
I'm trying to tell you that there's a giant.
When I get my dandruff up, look out. But Glory, poor little Glory.
Don't look now, gentlemen, but it's war. War? Whoopee!
Smiling through, my sweet, I'll have just you here in my heart, and I'll trust you, though we're apart, so
War. Rolls off my back like a duck.
But I'm trying to tell you. I'm telling you, there's a...
What's on your mind?
I say...
Speak up, man.
There's a giant on the beach. There's a giant on the beach.
For heaven's sake, Gabby, button your mouth. Can't you see I have a war on my hands? Be off with you. Shoo, 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 shoo.
A war? Do you suppose he could be a spy?
Or he bother me with passion. Who's a spy? Who's a spy?
The giant on the beach.
Giant? Why don't you tell me these things? Do something. Don't stand there. Go, stick the dogs on. Fetch him to me at once.
There's a giant on the beach! Giant? A giant? A giant on the beach! Giant on the beach! I said there's a giant on the beach!
Bring cables and tools, bring horses and mules, bring snippers and clippers, ladders and spools, bring derricks, a rig, bring pulleys, a jig, bring whatchamacallit, little and big, a thingamabud, a thingamajig, and all kinds of things and stuff like that there. Follow me! Quiet. We're almost there. Where is it? I don't know. But it was right here. Here.
Oh, yeah? Well, where is it now?
Well, I can't understand it. It was right here. Honest.
Giant. Dragging us out in the dead of the night. Yeah, chasing wild geese.
Gabby must have been seeing things. Maybe it just got up and flew away.
Yeah, and breathing fire.
Look out, Gabby! Your giant's gonna bite you! Hey, fellas, maybe it was me, Thor. Look, I'm a giant.